What's up, folks? What's up, everybody? Give me a chance to pull the chat up. How are we doing here tonight? Saturday night. It's all right. Feel free to say hey. If you're hanging out, let me know if you can hear me all right. Not too harsh. What's up, Cloud? How are you? What's up, Mark Wacker? What's up, Darth? Hey, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for that. What's up, Debu? Yeah, coming in here, maybe a different time slot than normal. It's late-ish where I'm at. It's what, 11 Eastern time, so I figure late is actually probably better for most people. At least most people in the US are west of me. What's up, Jager? Christopher? Subliminal? What's up, guys? Yeah, so I don't have much so far to speak of, and this, you know what, this light situation is not going to work very well. It's not bright enough. We see these all right? Yeah, this is all I got so far, is the quote-unquote Ben Affleck one and the unmasked Keaton. But I think just about everything else is going to be shipping. I'm not getting any of the flashes, but I'm getting the Affleck Bat Cycle and a couple of the masked Keatons and a couple Batmobiles. Oh, Jager, you saw somebody getting away with all the Flash figs. I saw earlier today, I saw that D Hunter found the whole Flash wave, and I live in the same state as D Hunter. He is on the other side of town though, and I'm not gonna go blow up his spot. But I was going down to a buddy's house earlier, so I did swing by the Target near me, and it was literally nothing there. In fact, like the DC section was just straight up empty. There was one Shazam figure and like one Dark Knight Returns 2-pack, I think it was. Nuber, is the Affleck head sculpt as bad as it looks? Well, so they didn't get the Affleck license, I believe, is what happened. So this isn't, this is not attempting to actually look like Ben Affleck. In fact, I think, were forced to make it not look like Ben Affleck. Night on a Futon, what's up? Jesus Fernandez. Yeah, Nuber, hanging out kind of late tonight. So I pop in, see what's up, see if anybody's hanging out. I had a chance to do a bunch of videos for the channel today. What did I do? I did Wonder Woman, and I did those. What's up, Dom Life? What's up, Big Time? I did the little mini page punchers. These guys were fun. I like these little dudes, and I really am looking forward to this full-scale 7-inch Redeemer. This is going to be awesome. I did those. I did the Wonder Woman review, and I recorded this Joker Eyes Dark Detective review. This guy was kind of fun. I really like this Jokerized repaint. concept in theory. I don't know if this is perfect. I think what they were going for was the idea they had was that this guy had a trench coat and they wanted to make it purple. I think they could get a little bit more creative with applying the Jokerized sort of look. So it didn't blow me away, but I do like the Jokerized idea, like concept in theory. Whacker Maker Shiz just reviewed Monolith and Medieval. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. They're sending me the same. I got the same figures coming in the mail, so I'll have reviews for those guys coming soon. Oh, Subliminal. When I say the Redeemer, I just mean that this 3-inch page punchers. When they do these little page punchers, they're just scaled down versions of the full 7-inch sculpts. So this right here is a sign that we're gonna get a classic. Yeah, Anti-Spawn. It's Redeemer. Classic, Redeemer look. Subliminal. Honestly, if they did a full deck of the Jokerized cards, I would pick up every single one. I think it's a great gimmick. I just hope, because sometimes they come up with an idea like this, like Jokerized or the Artist Proof, and then they kind of just give up on it, so it never really feels like a complete thought. So I'm really hoping they finish that card set, because it's a great concept. It's a pretty fun little collectible gimmick thing. Subliminal, I don't have any of the dragons. I will be putting Medieval on a horse, but I don't have a dragon. Maybe I could put him on Dragon Joker. Nuber, have a good night. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Cloud. D Hunter has just a ridiculous collection. It was actually, when I first started this channel, and I at the time when I was doing it, there weren't a ton of people talking about the DC Multiverse line because it was kind of new. Most of the people that were talking about it were people that were already established DC collectors. Of course, D Hunter being one of them. And, so I see his channel and I'm like, you see other people too, like Ahsoka, Brad the DC Geek, those guys with just huge, Bones, of course, people with just huge collections. It's like, well, I'm never going to be that person. I'm never going to have a collection bigger than theirs. So in a way, it freed me up to just be like, well, I can just worry about being whatever I'm bringing to the table. I don't have to try to keep up with those, guys that are just gonna, if I was trying to go toe to toe with just what their collection is, I just would never, wouldn't last. But my point being, the lesson there is like, if you're trying to do something and you see somebody else is doing it, on a bigger scale or whatever, you don't have to be intimidated. Just do your thing, right? Whacker, that's funny you make that comment. Whacker Maker says we got to do the cartoonist kayfabe style, all indie and cool ass designs. That's, what I've got this idea. Hang on. I've got this idea, and I don't know exactly what I want to do, but hey, what's up, Northern Nomad? So I know that, hey, what's up, Collected to Disconnect? Oh, you got your Batmobile's arriving Tuesday. I think mine's scheduled Tuesday or Wednesday. I got this from Target today. Oh, and I got this. Well, I should say yesterday they came in. Haven't reviewed them yet. I was catching up on, some other stuff. And actually, I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to review this with the masked version, and I'm going to review this guy with the Bat Cycle. I'll lump those together for those reviews. But anyway, so here's my thought. This is the thought I've been kind of had floating around in my head. You know, talking to you guys, getting to know so many of you guys, and there's a ton of people that watch the channel that I know are like creative people in many different sort of like artistic mediums or disciplines and stuff. That there's musicians and rappers, and there's artists, and there's writers, and there's photographers, and all kinds of creative people. And you know, I hear people, you know, talking about the kind of things that they would like to do. You know, they'd love to get a project going, man, or but I would need to collaborate with somebody, or I would need, you know, I've got this idea, or I have this skill, but I would need to, I can't do what I envision on my own. I need, you know, help or whatever. So just my thought is like, what do we do? What can we do to kind of make, whether it's like, I don't know, just like a spreadsheet or a kind of a like little database where people can kind of put their skill set or their, you know, interests, their artistic abilities, or you know, what have you, and be able to kind of maybe network or bounce ideas off of each other, or you know, collaborate or what have you. I don't know, what could we do? I mean, because I thought about a Discord too, but that's a whole thing. I don't have the time to pay attention to, you know, like kind of moderate that whole thing. But I don't know. Something to consider. You guys think about it too. Give me your feedback. You guys have good ideas about this kind of stuff too. And you know, like, because then the other thing is like, I mean, you know, I've got a, you know, a little bit of an audience here on this channel. It's not like, you know, most of the people are their main focus is toys, but we, you know, we did that. We were able to make my comic book successful and stuff. You know, be good to promote if other people, other people's work too. If you guys have, you know, projects of your own going on, I would love to be able to bring attention to what other people got cooking up. You know. Something to think about. Give me your feedback, you know. You don't have to give it to me right now. But if you have any thoughts about that, you know, let me know. Get in touch. We'll figure something out. Is D Hunter rich? D Hunter has a big collection. And he's buying doubles of everything, at least. You know what? What was I gonna... What all new stuff do I have in? Like I said, I did that Wonder Woman today. I did this Jokerized Batman. I don't even know where I put that Wonder Woman already. Oh, we got that new Robin. This new Robin. You know what? It looks better in person than I thought it was going to. I really thought the legs were gonna ruin it. He's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty fun. Like I said in the review, I've got a spare here that I'm going to be giving away to a viewer outside of the US. If you're an international viewer, go to the Robin review, leave a comment, let me know you want to be entered. We're going to have a random non-domestic winner chosen here soon-ish. Yo, MTB. Tony, you canceled your Batmobile. Oh, you're gonna go for the bundle pack. See if the yeah, that it is gray. It's gray. It's not black. It doesn't match. It's gonna need paint. Jesus, you know what? I've almost tried to get that Bloodshot figure, that Vin Diesel Bloodshot figure, several times, and I waited. I was waiting for this to go down, and now you just can't find him anymore. But yeah, he would be good custom fodder because he's just wearing like jeans with knee pads and a t-shirt. Yeah, so I think a real, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm pretty certain a real 89 Batman is going to be coming. It probably available through multiple different channels. Like you know, if that combo bundle, the Batmobile Keaton 89 gold label 2-pack is a thing, I don't think it'll be the only way to get the 89 Batman. So just, but yeah, you're gonna want to act fast because they are gonna be popular. The 89 stuff is gonna be popular. I've noticed a lot of people. Reynaldo, Ducey. Sometimes I get figures early. Depends on what it is. Depends on what they've got to send. Medieval and Monolith are on their way, and I don't think they're shipping yet. Oh yeah, Cloud. The McFarlane Harry Potter figures are good fodder. Yeah, I used one for to make that drop head custom. I used Harry. I actually another one. I think. I just saw somebody made some Arkham inmates out of the McFarlane Borderlands figs, so I did look up some of those on eBay. I have been going back and getting some McFarlane Cyberpunk and Fortnite figures for custom fodder. I am going to try to get back on that, making some themed henchmen, you know, some goons for some of the supervillains. Definitely need a Joker gang. I definitely want some Penguin henchmen too. That'll be a start. And I still want to make some, I'm going to make some more Kenner inspired customs, classic Kenner inspired customs, and what else? Oh, some one-offs. Like I want to make the Blacklight gang member, like Day of the Dead looking guy from Batman Forever. That's one that I definitely want to do. No, Darth, I didn't do the Mezco 89 Batman. That's not a big fan of Mezco. It looks like a pretty darn cool figure, but yeah, I'm not missing out on anything personally there. What did I think of the Penguin Show teaser? I'm stoked for that show. I think the Matt Reeves universe has potential to show us some more cartoony versions of the villain characters. I think it's trying to go there. I know that it's acting like it's trying to be all grim and gritty, but I think the Matt Reeves universe is yearning to be a little more exaggerated. There's that one really quick shot in that Penguin trailer where he's like got a full on like limp. You know what I mean? If I think they could be even the way Riddler ended up at the end of that first Batman. I could still see there being room for a for that Paul Dano Riddler to come back and be kind of zanier. Maybe not Jim Carrey, but you know what I mean? Just a little bit more of the campy kind of over the top, not the grounded, serious. I mean, especially if he's gonna do Clayface. I mean, what do we think that's actually gonna be like, Ricochet Rick? Like, what do we? I mean, if he is doing Clayface, what do we really think that means? Is he gonna do like Clayface, or is it gonna be some kind of like? Is he gonna really be able to shapeshift, kind of, or is he just gonna be like a master of disguise? Yeah, Mark. HBO Max has a great DC library, just tons of stuff to watch. Whacker, I'm excited about the what James Gunn's doing too, especially the fact that we'll be able to have the we'll have the dark and gritty Reeves stuff. I mean, in my mind, the idea that he's wanting to do a Batman where the Bat family is like exists, to me, that kind of demands a universe that's a little bit um, brighter, campier. You know what I mean? Not necessarily like trying to be ultra realistic. So I think it's great. The thing that's great about Batman is there's just like room for every flavor of that. You know, you can have the dark, serious stuff. You can have the kids stuff. You can have the stuff in the middle. And I mean, the character works, and no, you know, theoretically, there's room for all of it. You know what I mean? Having Matt Reeves stuff doesn't mean that we can't get something that's kind of maybe closer in tone to like Batman Forever. You know what I mean? Batman Forever rocks. We're long overdue for some like Schumacher rehabilitation. We need to all collectively admit that we were too hard on Joel Schumacher. Nomad. I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna do like a '66 diorama, but I am gonna try to have like a Batman and Robin kind of climbing up vertically somewhere. I don't know where it's gonna be, how I'm gonna make it happen. But hey, peace out, Incognito. Thanks for hanging out. I think Batman Forever rocks really hard. I mean, Batman Forever obviously is not a good movie, but the production value is really crazy. I mean, you know, incredible costumes and sets and stuff. Is it a good movie? No, but it's very watchable. Well, you know, MTB says, you know, if people saw the '60s Batman show, they would appreciate the Schumacher Batman. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of like I like Batman's villains, and I like their over the top stuff, and I like their like themed plots to take over the city, and I like their themed henchmen and stuff. The Arkham games were quote unquote like grim and gritty and dark, but they still had like, you know, they had goons and stuff, and they had big glowing question marks, and they had, you know, all these outlandish, ridiculous resources to create these like environments for their supervillain persona. You know, I want that stuff. I want to be able to see. I don't need a you know, like dark and serious background, and you know, I like the hammy stuff, the big over the top stuff. I like Two-Face, you know what I mean? He's split right down the middle, and he's a big mutant on one side, and his whole house looks looks split into. I like that dumb stuff. Oh, did we hear? Is it true that the Suicide Squad game got pushed back again to next year? I mean, if you know what, honestly, like if that's what the game needs, good. Like if they're gonna if this feedback is the negative feedback is gonna be good for the game, I mean, good if that's what it needs. Um, I thought the footage it was concerning. I didn't think it was the end of the world. I mean, the state of games being what it is, and those kind of whatever looter shooters, battle pass kind of thing. Yeah. I just want to see. I just want to see what I want to see. Rocksteady's Metropolis. That's really what I want to see. I don't expect them to be as good as the Arkham games. Dom Life, you think Forever's good? Batman Forever's good. Hey, Xterra. Hey, thanks for hanging out. What's up, Gavin? What up, TCP? Yeah, Three Squivel. I mean, yeah, Batman and Robin is not good, but it's watchable. It's not good, but I won't turn it off if it's playing. It's the same way, like it's Batman and Robin in my head is like very similar to the Phantom Menace, which they're both very bad movies, but they're this very specific kind of bad that like the stupid, weird, crappy dialogue and the really wooden acting and like line readings, they like are earworms in this way that's like familiar, becomes familiar, and like I don't know, like I don't like I really don't like the prequels, but I could watch Phantom Menace over and over again because it's like hypnotically stupid. Dom, like you were on shrooms the first time you saw Phantom Menace. I remember seeing Phantom Menace at midnight. I think that was the first midnight movie. I was what was that, 99, so I was maybe I can't remember if I was 8th grade or fresh. I think 8th grade when when Phantom Menace came out. And then it was like midnight, there would be midnight premieres for everything for years and years, and then it wasn't until like recently in the past few years that they stopped. They just started showing the movies at normal times on the day before, on the Thursday before, instead of wait until midnight. The Disney stuff's hit or miss. This season of Mando has been great, actually. I'm digging it. It's been much like snappier pace, you know. Stuff happens more full of incident and not just like kind of. I didn't like season 2 of Mando. It just kind of bored me. TCP. I never played Need for Speed. Didn't play a lot of racing games. The big racing game that I played was San Francisco Rush. I played a lot of that in the arcade and for Nintendo 64. And then what was the game? There's a car game where you would like crash on purpose. What was it called? What was the damn it? It was on Xbox. Burnout. Burnout 3, I think, was the one, and oh, that was fun. You would have little like mini games where you're like trying to create as much havoc as you could. Yeah, Last Jedi was the only one of the like sequel trilogy that was like actually a good movie. And then they immediately retconned it, which was stupid. The Last Jedi actually kind of like set it up for an interesting like sort of new frontier for Star Wars, but then they just went back to like everybody's somebody else's cousin or dad, you know. Oh, you know what? I was this is how out of the loop I have been on video game stuff. I didn't realize the new Jedi game was about to come out. I did play that first one and I liked it. I don't like the like Dark Souls style combat. I really liked the just like kind of platforming, the environments were really cool. Like the different planets. And your Jedi's like traversal abilities. Oh, you know what? I never did play Simpsons Hit or Run. I heard that's like a cult classic now. Mark, I don't know if that game is out. I mean, it's about to come out. If it's not out already, the Jedi game. Dom Life, I totally agree. Dom Life says at least Luke died on his own terms and not like a piece of garbage like Han Solo. So many people complained about Last Jedi about how Luke kind of became this old hermit, and like that was somehow a betrayal of the character, and I was like, that's like just interesting kind of growth and seeing somebody like kind of questioning their faith, especially kind of given Luke's experience in the original trilogy. That's interesting, I think. What's not interesting to me is to have Han Solo show up and they're just like, oh yeah, he went back to being a smuggler and he's not with Princess Leia anymore, and like they just reverted him back to like what he was, like as if he had no character growth in the past 30 years, and in fact like regressed to where he was before the end of the original trilogy. It was dumb. I thought Luke, I liked old man Luke. I think that's interesting. And I mean him, kind of wrestling with the Force. That's interesting stuff, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's an interesting like story about a religious person, right? King Deadpool, I'm 38. Born in 84. Cloud, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Luke always. The thing is, Luke didn't always make the right choice. And just given what he did experience, yeah, I think it's an interesting place for the character to go. Plus, I mean, dude, that whole like feint, his whole thing at the end, where he psychs out Kylo Ren, that's hard as hell, man. It's dope. It's great. It's killer way to go out. He beat, he wins. He buys everybody time, and he doesn't even throw a single punch. That's some Jedi shit, guys. It's pretty good. What's up, Pac? What's up, Scott Knight? Yeah, and Dom Life says Luke's arc is actually believable. He was a wide-eyed optimist who got shat on repeatedly, decided to walk away. Older people stop being heroes most of the time in life. Yeah, and like he didn't finish his training and he disobeyed Yoda, and he did the right thing at the right moment, right at the end of, Battle of Endor, but he wasn't just like a perfect decision making robot, you know what I mean? He's a human. He wrestles with his his faith, you know what I mean? That's interesting stuff. That's grown up, like mature, storytelling. Oh, and that scene, dude, the Yoda scene in Last Jedi is frankly maybe top 5 Star Wars scenes, period, in any of the movies. So, I don't know if I'll ever really collect Star Wars again. I went real hard. I probably told some of you this. Some of you have probably heard it. But I went real hard with Power of the Force 2, the Kenner Star Wars line from the 90s. And I collected that for a long time. I probably collected that from like when I was in early middle school all the way through past like end of high school. I went really hard. It was really about the time that what they were putting out became more prequel stuff that just I didn't care about I didn't care about the background characters from the prequels. I would get all the Cantina aliens and stuff like that, but I didn't need, that's when I started phasing out. And I guess because I went so hard on that Star Wars line, I just don't think I could ever really get back into, like, I don't feel like buying all those characters again. You know what I mean? And where do you draw the line? Like, because I would start with the bounty hunters, and then I would go on to Cantina aliens, and then I would want to get, well, if I'm going to get a stormtrooper, then I should get some of the different kinds of stormtroopers, and I should get some Imperial officers, and there's just no end, and I'm just not going down that rabbit hole again. Especially now that there's prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy, all the cartoon series and stuff that's just, not my bag. Mando's good, especially this new season's good. The first season and this newest season of Mando are good. Like I don't have any, like Ahsoka doesn't have any because I just didn't watch the Clone Wars cartoons. What I watched was the Clone Wars cartoon I watched was the Genndy Tartakovsky one, the 2D animated. That just lasted a couple seasons, and they were short little episodes, and it was fucking awesome. Oh, TCP, yeah, for sure. Definitely watch. Definitely a Fast and Furious fan. Fast 5 is my favorite. Oh, can I rank them right now? Let's see. I'm going to rank the Fast and Furious saga off the top of my head. Fast 5 is the best. Then probably 1, 7, 2, 3, 6, 4, 8. Yep. TCP 4, 2, 5, 6, and 7. That's a pretty good ranking. I really like 2. 2 is very underrated. Five is the best. Fast 5 is the best one, though. That's just not up for debate. Hey, what's up, Nathan? Yeah, Dom Life. The Mandalorians is, yeah, it's becoming a very, very cool show. So this is an extremely specific time period memory from when I was growing up. So old folks like me, you might recall before the prequels, before even the special editions, there was this big cross media event for the storyline called Shadows of the Empire. It was an extended universe book, but then they also did crossovers. There was a comic series that followed Boba Fett. There was a Nintendo 64 game where you played as the Han Solo type smuggler character, because this story takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So Han Solo is frozen. There was a toy line in the Kenner Power of the Force line. And I don't know if it's I don't know if Shadows of the Empire was the first mention or first appearance of Coruscant. Yeah, Whacker Maker, it was Dark Horse Comics. But Coruscant was very prominently featured in it, and of course this is before prequels, this is before even the special edition. You know what I mean? Coruscant wasn't a thing. This is kind of expanding the universe. But what they did have was Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, they're two painters, artists. They did artwork for a trading card line, Shadows of the Empire. So they kind of visualized all these characters and their vehicles and the environments and stuff. And they did some artwork of Coruscant, which the buildings looked like what would eventually become in the prequels, the kind of rounded domed buildings and the space skyscrapers and stuff like that. So me being totally enamored with Shadows of the Empire, loved it, had the toys, played the hell out of the 64 game, just thought it was the coolest, and like Boba Fett kind of was featured more prominently than ever before and all this stuff. What I did was I would take my Ghostbusters Firehouse, and then I also had the Jurassic Park like compound playset, which was like kind of a rounded, it was the rounded visitor center building from Jurassic Park, and I would put that on top of the Firehouse, so that it was like a Coruscant kind of like skyscraper building. And of course it was playing with 4-inch Star Wars figures, so it was like this giant huge complex building, and they would the guys would have to kind of fight their way from the, it was like the raid, they would have to fight from the bottom floor and encounter enemies every go all the way up till they reached whoever would be at the top. TCP, yeah, the new TMNT movie looks dope. Looks really cool. Scarlet and Gray, yeah, I think Rise of Skywalker is really kind of horrendous. GoopTube, Admiral Thong, yeah, that was well, I mean, that would have been before Shadows of the Empire. Grand Admiral Thong. I didn't read the Thrawn books. I didn't read a ton of the EU books. Did check out some of the Dark Horse comics. The books that I really liked the most were the compilations of short stories. Like they had a book that was Tales of the Mos Eisley Cantina, and it was a collection of short stories, and each short story followed one. Whoa, Toy Shiz is in here. What's up? Toy Shiz is part of the Dash Rendar army. We really do need a new Dash Rendar. But one of the books was Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. Each of the short stories followed like one of the background aliens from Mos Eisley Cantina. The devil looking guy, he had a story. Muftak and Cabe and Hammerhead, they all had little stories. And there was another similar one that was Tales of the Bounty Hunters. and same thing. Each one was a short story about, oh, here's a short story about Dingar, uh, and his beef, his background with Han Solo and why they had beef and all that stuff. I liked those. I didn't read a ton of the actual books. Like the books where there was like a fourth Death Star and they were cloning Palpatine and all that. Folks, we've been graced by the great Toy Shiz, one of the best people you'll ever meet. But yeah, that was kind of the last time I was really hard into Star Wars. It was kind of before the prequels, basically. The special editions were fun for a minute. Hey, what's up, Barry? There was a brief moment where we all thought the special editions were cool, and that moment has passed. You know what? I never. This will be contentious. I never played the Knights of the Old Republic games. That's kind of heretical as a kind of old timey Star Wars fan. Nathan, those games haven't aged well. Yeah, I believe that. You know what? I liked the first Battlefront, or the first two Battlefront games. Were they for the original Xbox? I think. Those were fun. Actually, you know what else was fun was there was a what was it? There was an episode 3 game that had like it was like I'm trying to remember. The storyline, like campaign, was you would play through the movie, but then it also had like a fighting mode, I think. Does anybody remember this? There was like you could just play as like a fighting game, and it was completely optional, almost hidden, like game mode. I think it was for the first original Xbox. What about I had an N64, I had the Pod Racer game, and for PS1 there was the Jedi Power Battles. That was a pretty good game. You could be Obi-Wan. I think you could be Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and you could be Mace Windu, and there was one more. Was it Ki-Adi-Mundi? Is that who you could play as? I mean, I think Disney Plus needs to just make a Shadows of the Empire movie and deep fake Luke and deep fake Leia can hang out, and who would play Toy Shiz Masters of Terraskazi. That was a different fighting game. That was PlayStation, right? Toy Shiz, who fan cast Dash Rendar. Who would play Dash Rendar in a movie? Who would it be? Nathan wants to cast Will Arnett and make it a comedy. Oh, Nick Cage. Nick Cage. All right. All right. Well, that's all right. That'd be an interesting interpretation, I think. You think Nameless? Well, it's a shame that actually, the guy that played Alden Ehrenreich, played the young Han Solo, actually would be a great cast, but they put him in that other movie. Dash Rendar is the most 1990s name ever written. He's a cool character. His ship looks exactly like Han Solo's. There's that level in the game where you ride a speeder bike through Mos Eisley. That was cool as hell. The controls were terrible, but it was cool. It was a good game. It's also like it would. I mean, if you played it right now, it'd be the worst thing you'd ever picked up. But you know what? People say, "Oh, that is Carl Urban." Yeah, good call. That's a good one. That's the right flavor. No, the really horrible game was Rogue Squadron for 64. Did anybody play that? I thought it was awful. I thought it was horrible. But there were some really great cheats, and I think you could unlock the Falcon, and that game came out like right before the prequels, but you could unlock the Naboo Starfighter. Yeah, Shiz, it was like there was this element of fun at first, but then like the objectives were too complex to do in like a flight simulator. It was just really unpleasant. I did not like it. I played it the hell out of it because what else are you gonna do? Big time, peace out. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, HasLab Rancor. Yeah, just not in my wheelhouse at all. I just don't collect Star Wars stuff anymore. Right, Twitches. I mean, that was what. Yeah, that was the way it went. If you bought a game, it was $60, and then if it sucks or not, it doesn't matter. You're stuck with it. And really, like, no, I don't think very few 64 games were as just like punishingly difficult and impossible to play as NES games. Like there were NES games and you would be excited and you would get it and it's just unplayable. Never get past the first level. Oh, Twisted Metal. You know, I never owned Twisted Metal, but hey, peace out, TCP. I never owned Twisted Metal. I didn't get a PS1 till like very, very late in the game. And I really only got it because I wanted to play Metal Gear Solid and I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII. So those are the games I spent the most time with on PS1. I mostly had 64 for that console generation. Yeah, Engine of Vengeance. Wasn't interested in that, but I did actually go for that ramen toy car. Even though I don't have a huge 6-inch collection. I feel like it's one of those things that like if I see somebody post that car in a couple years on Instagram or whatever, I will regret not getting it now, especially at the early price point. So I went for it. Oh, Ricochet Rick, yeah, that IG-88, the boss fights in Shadows of the Empire for 64 are pretty bad, and just basically just complete random chance to beat those bosses. Boba Fett, there's a little bit more like careful strategy, but IG-88 is just a cluster, and then that one giant droid at the end, in that you fight in that maze level, and it like At first he's walking, and then his legs blow up, and then he's just like floating a torso, and then that blows up, and he's just a floating head. Terrible boss fight. Oh, the sewer level is horrible. The Dianoga, you fight that. That's terrible. There's some good levels, though. I like the Hoth level. You get the bullet sponge Wampas. And then actually, yeah, in the level where you're like kind of platforming through the canyons, there's the cave Wampas. Oh, the level that's freaking it's you're like on a spaceship. Oh, and it's all these like doors and stuff, and every hallway looks the same. That's horrible. Yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day. I played that. I actually never played it back in the day. I played it and I didn't finish it, but I played it when I got the Rare collection that came out a few years back that had Banjo-Kazooie and it had Perfect Dark, I think, and yeah, a bunch of old Rare games. Battletoads. It had Battletoads, and it was interesting to play Battletoads in that collection because it was kind of basically it was an emulator, and therefore you could rewind. So if you made a mistake, like the classic like third level of Battletoads, where you're in the like car thing and you're trying to dodge all the barriers in front of you, well, if you mess up, you can rewind and play it back. So I finally, probably for the first time in my life, got past the that third level of Battletoads thanks to the replay feature. And the next few levels after that, oh, it's pretty easy, getting, easy enough, playing through them. Until I get to this one level where you're like chasing another guy down these things, and it's literally impossible, even with being able to replay it. It's harder than the famously difficult racing level. Infuriating. Truly infuriating. So I never beat it. Oh, but that collection also did have the Battletoads arcade game, which had really cool graphics, and that was fun to play through and see those. It was a completely different game, completely different levels. Night on a Futon. Do I like Resident Evil? I haven't. You know what? I haven't played every single one. I liked the original, the first two, way back when. Loved those, especially two. I really loved two. Didn't care for three, and then never played any after that until 7 came out. Played 7 and Village a lot. Those are great. All right, party people. Probably start winding it down. I need to go edit this Joker Eyes Dark Detective video. And then I need to strap in, it's gonna be flash time here. Got these guys, but I'm waiting. I'm gonna review this guy with the Bat Cycle, and I'm gonna review this guy with the masked version. So these are guys, they're on standby. Some Spawn stuff on the way. Yeah, Ricochet Rick, if you beat Battletoads, yeah, like some government guys come to your door and enlist you in some sort of, Last Starfighter style mission. Scott Knight, I haven't played Crisis Core, and you know what? I did get, I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I really liked it a lot, and I played it for PS4. And there's some glitch on PS5 that they're literally doing nothing about, where you can't, if you had it for PS4, you can't get the upgrade. What's it called? Intergrade, or whatever the like PS5 upgrade version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's really annoying. Ricochet Rick with the Hell Comes to Frogtown reference, Roddy Piper classic. All right, gang. Any closing remarks? Get them in. Get them in. Oh, Nathan, hey, appreciate that. Appreciate the $5 donation. I will put that $5 toward the international shipping cost for this Dick Grayson Robin that is going to go to a lucky winner outside of the United States. I'll be picking that winner soon. If you are a non-domestic viewer, you want to enter to win, go to the Robin review, leave a comment, let me know. Yeah, Chuba Kubre. I'm getting the Batwing for sure. And I think actually it's going to go right here. I think it's actually going to fit perfectly in this space on that wall. Yeah, that's going to be fun. All right, gang. Thanks for hanging out. Good time. Talk about Star Wars most of the time, right? It's kind of a fun little change of pace. Yeah, I got a busy couple weeks coming up, so I don't know when the next live will be, but we'll hang soon. We'll have stuff to talk about. All right. See you, party people. Thanks for hanging out. Good night.